about as well as you'd expect. Not very well. He lands right in the middle of the whirlpool. However, he is able to kind of wade his way through, just enough to grab onto the wall here and kind of pull himself the rest of the way through. So, with rope around his waist and flashlight in hand, he carries on that day. Now we are going to catch up with Tom in just a little bit, and even get a chance to kind of retrace his footsteps. However, before... Currently not too deep. But we do get quite deep, get about 90 feet later. So I'm going to people to fill up a bit of this space here, please. No mind? Thank you.
Don't touch it. Perfect weather.
Can you guys see back there? Yeah, okay. So, we are now at the room that we call the stalactite room, named after the abundant stalactites kind of all along the wall here. And these stalactites grow very, very slowly over thousands of years, when water kind of seeping through the limestone picks up very small amounts of material, eventually dripping off the tip of the stalactite, leaving those materials behind. They grow at an average rate of around 1 cubic inch per 150 years, making this guy around 850 years old. Yeah. In terms of a stalactite, quite young actually, as there are some in the kind of older caves around the world that grow to be millions of years old, that reach all the way from the roof right down to the floor, kind of creating these big pillars. Now we don't have any of those here today, unfortunately, as we are quite a young cave, only around 12,000 years old. However, if you set your calendar and come back a couple million years from now, we might have some. Now you also may notice if you kind of run your hands along the walls here, they are quite bumpy. This is because we have an excellent example of a solution cave, meaning it wouldn't have just been water that kind of carved the cave out. The water would have had a very small concentration of carbonic acid in it. Now this isn't anything like the kind of burn your hand acid. It's more the acid you would get in your pop. However, even less of a concentration than that. Very slowly kind of carving this pattern into the wall. Now, there is one more story I'd like to tell about this room. However, it does require a brave volunteer. Rock, paper, scissors for it? Yeah, for sure. All right, yeah, guys, step on them. Rock, paper, scissors for it.
No,
Would you like to rock,
sister.
yeah, would you like to rock, paper, scissors for it? Yeah, for sure. All right, congratulations on winning rock, paper, scissors. What's your name?
Misa.
Misa, can I get you to stick your hand in that dark hole, please? Tell me if anything bites it off. Yeah. Is there anything in there?
No.
Phew. Okay. So there's nothing in the hole. This time. However, that wasn't exactly always the case. Back when Tom was taking tours out here in 1955, the lighting really wasn't as good as it is right now. And the boardwalk certainly wasn't great. So we always suggested you just kind of hold a hand along the wall, kind of balance yourself, make sure you don't fall. And one day there's an older lady on the tour doing just that, when her hand slips into the hole. I don't know if I got anyone. Did I get anyone? No. Fair enough. I'm not great at jump scares. I'm sorry. I tried. Anyways, she rips her hand out, screaming at the top of her lungs. Now, screaming on your tour, never really the best sign. So Tom kind of comes running back from the front of the group and says, "Ma'am, are you okay? Are you hurt?" And she said, "No, Tom, I'm fine now. I just had a bit of a scare." Could you explain to me though, please, why your cave walls went from kind of cold and slimy to warm and fuzzy? Tom, being quite confused, shines his light in the hole to reveal the lady was giving a full body massage to 2 little baby brown bats. They haven't been back since. However, we do like to ask for a brave volunteer, so thank you everyone who volunteered. Thank you, Misa, for putting your hand in the hole. With that, I'm going to make my way to the front of the group here, and we're going to move on to our next room. Excuse me, sorry.
You have to put your
Excuse me, guys.
Sorry.
So it's not quite a snail, but it is tricky, yeah. It does look like one. Oh, so not quite. It is just a rock formation there, but it does look like a snail. Good call, though. Good eye. Over there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that did look like a snail.
It does look like a snail, yeah. It's a
Little sneaky rock formation, excuse me, sorry. Alright. Alright. Oh, for sure. No, that's okay. So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more steps down that way, guys. Yeah, I think that should be good there.
That's a deep spelunking cavern.
Oh yeah. Alright. So, this is where we kind of meet back up with Tom. As the tunnel that he would have went in through at the entrance kind of ends here before he realizes the next big problem. You see, if you guys look behind you there, there's no more tunnel. It's a dead end and it's much too narrow for Tom to fit anyways. Still not really wanting to swim through the cave as it is deeper now, more around his chest level. He packs it up and goes home. However, he does come back the very next day with 2 new pieces of equipment. One, a camera. Now keep in mind it is the 1950s. Cameras really aren't the cheapest thing on the market. So Tom thought, why in the world would I bring my own camera when I can bring my best friend's? Number 2 was a dollar store inflatable raft. Now his hopes were this raft would carry him down the main channel. However, upon blowing it up, he does come to the terrible realization it's much too big to fit in the cave. Yeah. So Tom takes a second to think about what to do next, and eventually settles on the interesting idea to deflate the raft halfway so it kind of fold up around him. And although it may not be everybody's first choice, surprisingly, somehow it actually works. And Tom, with best friend's camera and flashlight in hand, rope around his waist and a dollar store half-inflated raft, continue down the main channel here. Now we are going to catch up with Tom again in just a little bit. However, before we do, I'd like to let anybody who'd like the opportunity to kind of retrace Tom's footsteps and walk through this tunnel here, the opportunity to. I would like to mention, there are a lot of puddles in there, and some of them seem a bit more like small lakes. And it does get quite a bit more narrow just around the corner there. So if you're a taller member of the group, you're going to be crouching quite a bit. Now what you're going to do is you'll go all the way through and you'll come out just at that first tunnel we saw at the entrance, where you'll take a left to join back up with the group. I'd like to mention this tunnel is very safe. Thousands go in every summer and hundreds come out, so with that, good luck, guys. That should be good there. Back in the kind of fall and winter months. This leaves for the winter. But also we did have a white-nosed fungus go around that did kill off quite a significant amount of our bats. However, in the process, he does wake up almost every single bat in the tunnel. There's now thousands of confused bats flying all around him. However, Tom stays strong and even goes on to say, that's not what scared him the most. No. What scared Tom the most was the sound he heard coming from just around that corner. So with this, I'm gonna get you guys to lead this one because I don't know if it's still there, and I want us, be in a better position to run, to be honest. A little bit, yeah. It's there. I don't want to run. I'm telling you, I don't know it's there. Thank you. We're gonna find out.
Ready?
No.
Long time ago.
So I'll get you guys to film a bit of this space again, please. Kind of make some space for people coming in. Room in the cave. It is the room that we call the parlor. It is where 2 nights out of the year we do hold underground dining. And we have also had a couple concert nights and even a few weddings in the cave. That all happens predominantly in this room, but a bit of the stretch leading up to it as well. However, the reason we can kind of have those fun events is also why Tom would have been so terrified, as the sound he heard coming from this room was our cave's largest whirlpool. So they water kind of rushing out of the bathtub, smashing into this wall, kind of carving that dent, ricocheting quite a few times, carving various dents, and eventually kind of shooting through this crevice out here. And out those 2 holes, hi! And out those 2 holes like jets, kind of carving those 2 divots in the wall. So, we're talking very, very high pressured water. And Tom, still half inflated, Donald still wrapped, isn't exactly very, very high pressure waterproof. So we would have smashed in the wall and immediately began to tip. Now, luckily for Tom, he does spot our cave's largest stalactite here. It is about 12,000 years old, or about as old as the cave itself. It is actually how we kind of approximated the age of the cave. However, in the moment, Tom wasn't really thinking, wow, what a great geological find. No, Tom was thinking, wow, that is an incredibly convenient hand grip right about now. So he goes up to reach for it just to realize his hands are full. In one hand, he has his best friend's camera. And in the other, he has his flashlight. I'm going to call it curiosity. Which one would you drop?
Camera.
Camera, right answer, to be honest. Although if you're ever in that very, very unlikely situation, please do drop the camera. Your flashlight